What is going on, everybody? Today we're looking at the Mattel Masters of the Universe Origins Snake Mountain, the evil stronghold of Skeletor. So this looks really cool. Of course, we're looking at the box here with awesome artwork. So we have Snake Mountain here in all its glorious design. Love the artwork they did for this. It looks really cool. Of course, we have Snake Mountain with all our characters littered throughout it, like fighting in a giant battle. It just looks really cool. We have a lot of the Snake Men and stuff down here, fighting, of course, with all our Masters and Skeletor's characters and stuff. So very cool looking box for Snake Mountain. If we look at the top of the box, it shows a lot of features of Snake Mountain. So it says Stronghold folds open for easy play. Then we have Striking Snake, terrifying all intruders. Cool Bridge, scale the mountain. Trapdoor, capture enemies. Acid Pit, seek your foes. Secret Tunnel, sneak inside. Stronghold Dungeon, bind and hold prisoners. And Bone Throne, rule Snake Mountain. So those are a lot of the features that are featured throughout Snake Mountain. And on the back we have a more realistic version. So we have the Snake Mountain display itself, and then has all the figures that we've had over time and stuff sort of thrown in, and then a little bit of look inside of all the features that are going to be inside of Snake Mountain. So all of it just looks really cool. I love when they do all this, just set up a display and set up all the characters stuff. So all of this looks really cool, but let's go and look at the actual Snake Mountain. So here we have Snake Mountain all closed up. I just want to show you what it looks like when it's all closed up and everything. It is a really tall building, so of course we have from the bottom all the way to the top. Of course, this top section adds a big mountain point up there, so it makes it really tall. It is much taller than Castle Grayskull, which I'll show you that comparison. But just from this outside look here, of course, of this half of it, looks pretty cool. So we have the main gate that has what looks to be like a wolf head there, a nice archway with a bat up top. Of course, the big giant snake that can come over and attack as the thing showed. And then as we go down, we have like stairs and stuff, and there's weird like faces, like demon faces all throughout it. And on this side down at the bottom, we have the little entrance with like these rubbery tentacle vine things down there. And on the opposite side, we have the back side of the mountain up top, where we have a spider just hanging up there, and we can see that gate. Then on the actual mountain side, we have the wolf head up there, and then the big demon face that has a mouth that opens, some chains to chain up prisoners there, and then more of the stairs that sort of go down there to the side. So that all looks pretty cool. I just wanted to show you, like I said, what it looks like all folded up. And to open this, much like Castle Grayskull, it has these little clips on the side, so you just unhook them from around there, around these little nubs, which then allows you to open up the mountain. So with Snake Mountain unfolded, you can see what it looks like here. So we can see both sides now together. From a lot of stuff, it always shows it like from the outside like this, you know, like from on the box, it showed the outside of Snake Mountain. So I thought with this, so it's like the opposite of Castle Grayskull, where Castle Grayskull, you know, had stuff on the outside, but you didn't really play a lot with it. Like you had the main entrance, and that was really about it. Everything was on the inside, where I thought with this, everything was on the outside, and there was almost nothing inside, but there is some stuff in there that we'll take a look at. But the outside looks pretty cool. As I said, you know, we've seen all this stuff already, so you can see what it looks like from top to bottom there. I think it looks really cool. Of course, love like the big snake feature sort of stands out there, and then of course like the demon face and everything. So all of that looks really cool. But here on the outside, we can look at some of the features. So there's a lot of extra like little accessory things that you can put up with this. So first we have the bridge. So saw this on the back, so we just have this bridge that we can attach that kind of pops right into this section. And when you do that, it kind of makes the mount sit at a little bit of an angle instead of completely flat like I have it now. But let me go and put this bridge on, and we'll see what it looks like. So there's the bridge attached, and as I said, it kind of makes it sit more at an angle now. So it now adds more of an angle and a little bit more room. But overall, I think it looks pretty cool. So if we have our characters, like we can have He-Man come up. He of course has to get up here. There are little peg holes right in front of the mouth of this monster. So there's peg holes there, so you can take characters and peg them on it. Of course, take them, have them cross the bridge, go up the steps and up to the main entrance. And the bridge does have some pegs on it as well. So again, you can use this as display. You can just peg your characters on it, and they'll stay on there nice and everything. Now there is a thing, like if you put in front of the mouth here, the mouth does open. Of course, I can't really reach around. The thing's way too big and behind the camera and stuff. I can't really do it, but there is a little thing back there from the inside that you can sort of push on, and it will open this mouth. So I assume if you have a character there and you open the mouth, it'll hit them and knock them off. So it's just a way to, you know, have a little play feature there. And then they can obviously come up this side of the bridge and up to the main entrance, where of course the snake can then attack them or anything, is sort of push them through the gate, through the trap door. And down here at the bottom, there's this secret escape or entrance, whatever you want to call it. So they are this like rubbery tentacle type thing. We've had stuff like this with like the Orlax of Primera and stuff. So it's just a soft like rubbery material, but you can like take He-Man, you know, sort of like shove him through to sneak into Snake Mountain through like the under entrance. And as I mentioned, there's of course the main entrance up here where the door does open, so so you can open to get into Snake Mountain there. And of course there will be a trapdoor waiting on the other side that we'll look at. But the final thing on the front here that I want to show you and look at, of course, like with this, the wolf head does twist, so it doesn't really do much for like play wise and stuff. It just does twist around. But there is this little prisoner area right here where we have some chains, so you can take like He-Man and chain him up. So to do this, you just have to pop his hands off to be able to get his hands through the chains. So you can have He-Man chained up just like that. So now he's in prison at Snake Mountain there. So we'll have to have his friends come and rescue him. So I just thought that was pretty fun that it has this little chain. Of course, they're nice and rubbery and stuff, so they'll move around and don't really cause any issues or anything. But there we have He-Man all chained up now as a prisoner of Skeletor. So that's really all we have for the outside of Snake Mountain. So we can spin it around and look at the inside. So here we have the inside of Snake Mountain. So we have the entrance gate as I already showed, and then we'll have a trapdoor here with some stuff. Of course, we have an acid pit down here at the bottom that has some features. There's that secret entrance or exit there with the vines. And then over here we have Skeletor's throne room. Of course, that wolf head up top, and then kind of like a little dungeon type thing down here in the bottom. So overall, there's not a whole lot to it on the inside. It's pretty plain and basic, but we do get a lot of features to throw in on the inside here. So like a fun thing with this, you know, can have He-Man come right in through the gate and he'll be standing on a trap door. Well, with that trap door, you can just, there's a little button here on the side. You can just open it and he'll fall through, so you can fall down and, you know, go down into like the acid pit down there. Or it comes with this cage that we can use as well. So it has the big wolf head on it and stuff, and just a nice plastic cage thing. But it has these lips up here in the top that we can actually take and slide in underneath. There's these little things down on the side underneath this, and you can slide it in there. It's not the easiest thing, but you can do it. And now with the cage in there, we can have He-Man get ready to fall in, so you can press the button and the door should open. I think it's getting stuck on the cage, but he can't open up. Of course, this door is not supposed to open, but He-Man can then fall down inside of the cage, and now he'll be a prisoner on the inside. So that is pretty cool. Of course, you got to worry about trying to get this door closed again, but once you do, you can actually take this cage out, like slide it out, and then we can store it in another area, which I think is pretty cool that it can come out. So you have this little mobile cage thing, like I said, with He-Man trapped inside there now. Now, before I miss, I did want to show there is this little rubbery spider that you can sort of take off and move. So it's just this soft little rubbery spider thing, like I said. So, and it has these holes, so it has a hole there, so it can hang up like by its butt area, or it has a hole under the bottom of there, which I think it was what it was. It was up on a peg, and so there's pegs sort of scattered throughout, so you can sort of store it wherever you want. But just a fun little spider looking thing that you can sort of stick wherever. And down below that we have the acid pit, so it just is like a sticker, and then there is this little piece that sort of flaps here that's sort of painted and everything. Now it does have these little nubs on it everywhere, so there's these two, one back there, and I think that rock you can move as well. And for this area, you can take these little creatures that come with it, so we have almost like this dragon head that looks pretty cool. So you can take this and sort of just stick it on that nub there, so it's like the head's coming out of the water. And then we also have this more like frog lizardy looking thing that's like half a body as well that we can take and stick onto those pegs as well. So like I said, it's like they're coming out of the water. But what's really cool is you can take your character like He-Man and split him in half, since they do that, and then you can take him and like pop him on there, so now he's like trapped down inside there, like sinking in the acid. So I think that's pretty fun too, so you can do that with all the characters. But for me, I just like having the characters stored there like that, so just to have those down inside there, the acid pit, which I think is cool. And finally on this side, I did notice there's these two little pieces here. The set does also come with a ladder, so you can take the ladder and sort of sit it right in there, kind of like notch it in there. So there's a ladder from the bottom all the way to the top. I feel it'd sit more like that or something better, but it's hard to really get it to stay. But yeah, it has those little notches, so you can use the ladder that's included with this set just to give you access to that upper area. And then we can move over to the other side. So first we'll start off with Skeletor's throne room. So we get Skeletor's throne here, so nice bone throne, which looks pretty cool. Nice like seat display with all the bones and everything there for Skeletor, which looks pretty crazy. So we can take this, has a little circle here on the bottom that can sit on this little peg here, so we can just stick it on. So there's the throne ready for Skeletor to take his place in Snake Mountain, so he can just sit in the throne. Of course, with these characters, they don't really sit too well in positions, but you can sort of sit him there like that. And then we have this open like just sort of wooden floor area. There's not really much to do or anything. Like I do know with like this wolf head underneath here, you can stick that spider if you want. It'll stick so it's hanging down. But over in this area, there's not really much of anything to do. But right underneath it, there are some more hooks, so you can see these areas where the plastic has holes in it. So for this, you can also take that cage for that He-Man got trapped in and take and slide it underneath here. So now that makes He-Man more trapped like in like the dungeons and everything. So that's a fun little thing. Again, we have more notches here, so again you can take the ladder, sort of set it up there as a way to get up to this level. Before I miss it, this is that little lever to open the mouth of the demon. So it's just a little over here that you can like lift up to open up that mouth. So again, it's hard to reach from the front to show you that. And the final thing we get is the weapon weapons rack. So we have a weapons rack like we got with Castle Grayskull, but this time we have just some like the more glow in the dark green colors. So we have a shield, a sword, and a spear there, and this can just sort of sit down here in the dungeon area as extra weapons. So overall, I think that is pretty cool. Like I said, on the inside it seems a little bit more lackluster. At least to me, it's not as fun or interesting as it is on the backside, but I think overall it's pretty cool that it does have some features and relatively has some similarities with Castle Grayskull. So overall, I think it does look pretty cool from top to bottom there. But like I said, for this, mostly for some reason, they have the outside as the main feature. But just so I can show you comparison, we'll go ahead and close up Snake Mountain. Of course, I got to remove that bridge from the front. So once that bridge is removed, you can just easily close it up. And of course, you can store all those accessories and everything inside there, but you can just close it up and of course clap these things back. So that gives us the front of Snake Mountain again. Now what I wanted to show was it compared with Castle Grayskull. So here is Grayskull compared to Snake Mountain. Of course, the snake on top of Snake Mountain is causing some issues. So Snake Mountain is definitely a taller, so you can see just how tall it goes, especially with that mountain design. And then the overall, like width-wise, they look relatively about the same. But I think they're cool having it. So we have Castle Grayskull and now Snake Mountain there, so it can have a fight together, and we can take all our characters, you know, arrange them wherever we want to have just a giant battle with both of those. But it's really cool to now have the good guys and the bad guys little castle layer now. So very cool to have that. So I love this Snake Mountain. I think it looks pretty cool. Like I said, I think the outside's more interesting than the inside, but they're both pretty cool, and I just think they look awesome here together, especially with Castle Grayskull. So that's going to be it for our Mattel Masters of the Universe Snake Mountain playset. Overall, I think it is pretty cool. Love all the features, details, designs. They did a really good job with it. This isn't like too expensive. I do think this is more expensive than Castle Grayskull was, so it will cost you more money, but it seems overall bigger, you know, has a little bit more features and like bigger stuff like the big snake and everything there. So that's all going to cost you a little bit more, but I think it does look pretty cool overall, and a lot of like little play features and stuff. But like I said, mostly overall, it's going to be cool to have this display, to be able to set, you know, a bunch of characters up on it and everything. That's going to be the coolest part. But let me know your opinions of Snake Mountain down in the comments, and if you liked my review, let me know with a thumbs up. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.